Welcome to EduRev.
In this particular lecture, we'll be seeing another very interesting part or aspect of the IVC, which is nothing but the social life. So that's what we're going to see today, the social life of Indus Valley civilization. So yes, we are going to see this as a part of the continuation of the previous lecture. So that is why you could see that the very first thing I have numbered it as 8. So please read it as a continuation of the previous lecture, because that will give you additional points when you write your mains answer writing, or when you have to put a holistic point of view in terms of Indus Valley civilization. So the first topic that we are going to discuss for the day is about agriculture as an aspect of social life. So when you're first talking about agriculture, you need to talk about what are the prominent crops that are grown or that were grown in IBC, and what were the prominent evidences. So first point is very important: wheat and barley. Wheat and barley was their very staple food crops. Apart from wheat and barley, you also had some other prominent crops in the form of sesame, lentils, and cotton. Of course, please do not forget the role that was played by cotton. Cotton was the prominent crop that was used as part of winning, as a part of the cloth. So when you're talking about the fabric that was prominently used, try to remember it was cotton. And horticulture was also practiced, that is, fruits and vegetables, they were grown. Not just that, the discovery of grains at some of the Harappan sites, try to remember it, the discovery of the grains at some of the Harappan sites, and the terracotta models of the plough that is found at two prominent places of Cholistan and Banavali. It points towards the prevalence of agriculture at that point of time. Not just that, you also find evidences of ploughed fields at one of the prominent places, which is Kalibangan. So ploughed field is another important evidence. Not just that, irrigation models have also been found at the place of Dolavera, and especially you have to remember that the irrigation is thought to have been carried out by the usage of wells or reservoirs, which were found at this place of Dolavira. And not just that, there is evidence of domestication of animals. That also try to remember, there is clear-cut evidence of domestication of animals. What sort of animals? Try to take a look at it. Cattle, sheep, goat, water buffalo. These are some of the prominent things. And another thing is elephant. Elephant was also domesticated by the IVC, Indus Valley Civilization people. That is why when you take many of the cosmetics which was used by the women, ivory was a certain very important byproduct. They made some of the face paints using ivory. They had some hair clips that was made out of ivory. Combs of the women were made out of ivory, suggesting that ivory was actually properly sourced from an animal. And raising livestock, it was actually thought to be a useful investment against crop failure. So that is why people, apart from agriculture, they also took to animal husbandry. They also took to domestication of animals. And terracotta figurines, statues, and seals of bulls, they suggest that oxen might have been used for agricultural purposes. And coming to food habits, they were both following vegetarian and non-vegetarian practices, and they tried to make it a very healthy diet. Not just that, this part of whether IBC people actually consumed rice or not, there is not a very clear cut evidence as in if they actually consumed rice or not. However, still, this also you need to remember, some evidences of rice has also been found at Lothal and Ropar. And then clothes. Coming to the clothes, as I've told you before, cotton was the most common fabric, although wool might have also been used, and they were very well aware about the practice of weaving and spinning. and weaving and spinning, you needed spindles for it. Now, this weaving and spinning practices are still existing uh, in the traditional format of using spindles in still in some southern parts of the country. So when you find the spindles, you tend to understand that they made the fabric out of their own. Like you have the cotton crop, so you have to make the fabric out of it, for which you need to know the process of weaving and spinning. And from the fabric that is made, you have to make your own clothes, right? So for that, you need needles and buttons to make your own clothes. So stitching was known, as well as weaving and spinning was also known. So that also try to remember. And coming to the aspect of wearing the cloths, so take a look at this picture that you have here. These are the buttons that have been probably used by them. And coming to the concept of wearing the cloths, so this is the most famous bearded man statue, right? So you all know about this bearded man statue. So from this bearded man statue, they inferred, they thought that the figurines suggest, understand the word, the figurines, they suggest that two pieces of clothes were used by the men and the women. One piece resembled dhoti, that is covering the lower body, and the other portion was worn over the left shoulder under the right arm. So even when you take a look at this particular picture that you have, you can understand that probably two pieces of clothes were worn. One was worn as a garment to cover your upper body, and the other one was covering your lower body. Thus, two pieces of garments might have been used by both men and women. And coming to cosmetics, they knew the face paint that is made out of ivory, and the bronze opal mirrors, ivory combs, ivory headpins. These are all used by women of that particular time. And coming to the ornaments, ornaments were made of gold, silver, copper, bronze, and semi-precious stones. And these ornaments, they were worn by both men and women equally. Both men and women, they wore ornaments like necklaces, fillets, amulets, and finger rings. Now, this amulet, try to remember that it was used as a part of identification of one person belonging to one particular creed or community. In the later part of time, in the later part of the history, amulet was also, like, very importantly and interestingly, amulet is a source to ward off evil spirit. So for that purpose also, amulets were used. So that suggests that people actually tend to believe this concept of ghost and everything. And beads that was made from cornelian, amethyst, quartz, and steatite, they were quite popular, and there were many factories that was discovered in Chanhutaro and Lothal. And coming to games and sports, of course, we are dealing with the social life of the people, which means we cannot neglect the entertainment aspect of the people. So, one form of entertainment for the people is, yes, hunting, gambling, playing dice. This was considered. Now, if you take hunting, hunting is believed to be or having to be taken place for a long period of time, because it was evident in a large number of seals. So not just for the food, they also hunted for the sake of, or as a means of entertainment. And they were very fond of gambling, they were fond of playing dice, dancing, and singing. Because you find this very important dancing statue that was found in Mohenjo-daro. So, from that, you can actually imbibe, or there were many such dancing images. So, from that, you can actually understand that merrymaking was one such important event. It was an important entertainment event for the Indus Valley Civilization people. There were also some of the dice that was found. There were some of the terracotta figurines that was found, like small cards, small dolls. So from then we understood that even kids used to take to playing games on a very high priority. Also, there was a certain sort of gender play stereotyping. Like when you take some type of cards, probably it was found that they were mostly men oriented, and similarly there were certain gender play when it came to the dolls that was found and the activities that have been generally taken by girls and boys. So there was a gender play, a sort of gender play stereotyping. Again, it is a probability. So try to understand that.